For somebody who really doesn't know anything about Christianity, I think the best book to start with is usually the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John is written in a simple, very straightforward way about Jesus, and it gives us a lot of dialogue between Jesus and many other people, and goes through many of the most important events in his life as well. So a lot of pastors direct people to the Gospel of John for the first book you might want to read. The book of Matthew was written to actually be a catechism for people who had been raised in the Jewish faith, the Old Testament faith, and the intent of it was to show that Jesus really is the Messiah who has come. And so Matthew quotes the Old Testament a lot more than the other gospel writers. The book of Luke is the most what we call chronological, which means that it follows the history of Jesus' life all the way from his birth to his resurrection and ascension. And so if you're looking for a book that will give you the chronology of Jesus' life, probably the book of Luke would be the best for that. Now, when it comes to the epistles in the New Testament, the book of Romans, written by Paul, is often considered to be the queen of the epistles. If you notice in the books of the Bible, it's quite often put right at the front of all the other books that follow after it. And even way back in the early church, people felt that studying and knowing the doctrine that was in the book of Romans, Paul does such a beautiful job of being very systematic about teaching us who Christ is, how beautiful this doctrine of justification is, and how it applies to our daily and earthly lives. So those would be some of the main books that I would direct people to.
Studies show that people who engage with the Bible 4 times a week or more are 30% less likely to feel lonely. Spending time in Scripture is important. We encourage you to find a few minutes each day to read or listen to the Bible. Peace Devotions are available as an audio podcast and can be found on Spotify or as an Amazon Echo flash briefing. We repost old devotions to our podcast feed so you can hear a different devotion each weekday. Peace Devotions are produced by the Evangelical Lutheran Synod and made possible by generous donations from church bodies and individual donors. If you find these devotions beneficial, we encourage you to consider supporting our ministry. You can donate by visiting els.org/donate.